Hey everybody, Sean LaRue here at Lowell Ranch. Hope you guys are doing well. Wanted to show you a little modification that I made to my tractor because I broke a piece off of it and seemed to work out pretty good, the little modification I make. So let me show you what I did. All right, so on the tractor, there's typically through this hole, there's a metal rod sticking up, and it helps me to know when you're adjusting the bucket or the front, the tilt up and down, lets you know when you're flat and when you're not. So this is the rod. And you can see, so this little notch right here is a marker of the bucket when it's flat, and then you know when the bucket's flat and when it's tilted down, when it's tilted up. So you can see mine got jacked up. So I really messed it up, got it caught in some trees, and I looked online, and a new one of these from Mahindra is $85, which is a lot of money. So what I did instead is, here is where the old one hooked in. I just got an eye bolt with some washers and some nuts. Now when the bucket tilts, you can see it bent the eye bolt just a little bit, but it didn't break off, and I've got Loctite on there so those won't move. And then got a piece of threaded rod. So you can see the threaded rod right here, 3/8 inch threaded rod, and put it down through this hole and then down to here, and then just connected it with some washers and some nuts. Now, I had it on there and it was working great, but what I did wrong is I only had regular nuts. And because of that, when it was vibrating and everything like that, then the nuts came loose and the bottom one actually fell off. So I got new washers. I have a lock nut for the top. So I'm gonna do a nut, a lock nut, and a washer on the top. And then on the bottom, I've got a washer and then a stop nut or a lock nut there. And on the top one, I may even go ahead and even on the bottom one, put a little bit of Loctite as well, just to make sure it's super strong and it stays. So let me put that together and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, there we go. So that just took a second to put on there, but you can see I threaded this nut on. I've got a lock washer, regular washer, and you have to make sure you get a big enough washer that fits for the eye bolt, and then a washer on the bottom, and then the lock nut on the bottom. I did go ahead and put some Loctite on the threads, some thread locker for this one. So this should be locked in really well. The lock nuts or the lock washer is probably enough, and then the lock nut on the bottom, so that's not coming off. And now you can see replaces what was there. This was a 6-foot rod, a 4-foot probably. I don't think they had a 4-foot, I think they had a 3-foot, which would have been a little too short. So what I'm gonna do is take the angle grinder and just cut some off because it did not need to be this high. I left it like this. I was using it like this because I wanted to see if it would work, and it was fine. It's just a little too high. You could see I bent it a little bit just so it wasn't sticking straight up in the air. But what I'm gonna do is cut that off because I know that it doesn't need to be that big. And then what I'm gonna do, and I don't have anybody with me to help me right now, so when I do, I'm gonna have somebody, I'm gonna get the bucket level on the ground, and then we're gonna put a piece of tape around here as my marker. Probably use some duct tape or something like that. And then that way I've got a marker of when I'm level, and I know when I'm below and when I'm above. And I made to use 2 different colors of tape because it is different being level with the pallet forks than it is being level with the bucket. So when I have some help with me, then I'm gonna mark it, and then that way I'll know, where I'm at. All right, so I brought the tractor over here on flat ground, and you can see I just made the bucket level, right? So it's level, and that's where I wanna know my indicator. So when I'm trying to scoop stuff, I know when my bucket's level, and that's the whole point of this thing that we rebuilt here. And by the way, I have been using this probably for the last month. That's how long it took me to finally mark it, but it's been working great. So everything is still hooked up and together. So using the lock nut, the lock washer, some Loctite really helped to hold everything in place. And so then what I did was, once I got this bucket level on flat ground, I knew where it was at, then I just marked it up here. So you can see I took some duct tape and just marked it right at that point. So when I'm sitting in the cab, I can see when the bottom edge of that duct tape where I wrapped it, when that's right here at the red piece, then I know that I'm level, right? So if the red piece is down here or up here, then I know I'm not level. But when it's right there, I know I'm level. And you could use a different color or something like that, but that worked for me. I can see it good enough. I may also, because it's a different spot for the forks, so I may put the forks on there, find level, and then mark that with like a different color of electrical tape. All right, well, hopefully that was helpful to you guys. I know for me it was a huge deal because I bent that piece up. It was super expensive to replace. And so just doing something DIY saved a ton of money, and it works great. I actually took the tractor in for a hydraulic leak, and the people at the Mahindra shop were like, hey, I really like what you did there on that bucket level. So they were impressed. They'd never seen somebody do that before. So hopefully you guys find value in that. Hopefully maybe that'll help you out on, it could be a tractor, it could be a lawn, you know, a little lawn tractor that you use, anything like that, anything that's got some kind of similar type of mechanism. I know most of the tractors, at least bigger tractors like this, use this type of mechanism. But hopefully that's helpful for you guys. Thanks for tuning in to Laurel Ranch. Make sure you like these videos, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on anything, and we'll see you all soon.